Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different, exploring financial wisdom, but from a distinctly Chinese perspective.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so imagine you're like embarking on this journey, right, to cultivate a mindset for wealth. But our guide is this unique book called Rich Mindfulness.
Okay.
And we've got excerpts ready to explore, and trust me, it's not your typical Wall Street advice.
Well, and what's interesting is this book, it's been praised by everyone, from business lectures like I.O. to personal growth authors like, no.
Wow, okay.
And it focuses on mindset, but they use this really cool metaphor of 3 cups of tea.
Ooh, I love a good metaphor.
Yeah.
So tell me more about these 3 cups of tea.
Well, we're going to see how these cups, awareness, observation, and insight, kind of fill up as we go through these excerpts.
I like that. Okay, so the first excerpt kind of dives right into this idea of the importance of a burning desire to... And it tells this wild story about this young entrepreneur who goes to this business master for advice, and the master just dunks him in a pool and holds him underwater.
It's a bit extreme, but the point is to really highlight the difference between just like a casual desire for something and like a primal need. Think about when you're gasping for air underwater, right? That's the kind of intensity that we need to tap into if we want financial success.
Yeah.
So I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now, and you've achieved a major financial goal.
Okay.
Really try to step into that vision. What emotions are you feeling?
Wow, that's a powerful visualization exercise.
Yeah.
It makes me think of my own experiences growing up in Taiwan.
Oh, yeah.
We were really poor. Our house was basically bamboo fences.
Oh, wow.
No bathroom, a makeshift kitchen in the backyard.
Yeah.
The contrast between that life and even a basic apartment, it was so stark that it fueled my drive in a way someone born into comfort might not understand.
That makes sense. Our backgrounds shape our relationship with money. So for you listening, what experiences in your life have kind of intensified that desire to earn for you?
It's almost like those early experiences, they imprinted the value of financial security onto me.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of perspectives, the next excerpt talks about like how we even view money itself.
Oh, interesting.
So tell me, how should we be viewing money?
Well, the book argues that money itself is actually neutral. It's our thoughts that give it power.
Oh, interesting.
And there's this anecdote about a psychologist who's stuck in traffic and he's getting all stressed out while his colleague is calm, just like using the time to practice mindfulness.
Oh, wow.
It highlights how even in like financial situations, we can actually choose how we react.
Oh, that's interesting.
So think about yourself. Do you find yourself getting really emotionally charged about money? Or are you a little bit more detached?
Oh, I can definitely get emotionally charged about money, especially when it comes to investing.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to work on that, practice more mindfulness around it so it doesn't control my emotions.
That's great. That's great.
So this next excerpt really speaks to me. It's about how our early exposure kind of shapes our possibilities, when it comes to wealth.
Yeah, it's like we can't become what we don't know, right?
Right.
The authors ask these questions like, did your parents encourage you to become an entrepreneur or invest like Warren Buffett? Or was it all about just getting a traditional job?
Yeah.
And, sometimes our upbringing can really limit what we see as possible financially.
That's so true. I remember reading about this really successful entrepreneur, and he grew up surrounded by business owners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And to him, starting a company just felt natural, like breathing. It wasn't some like scary foreign concept,
Yeah, so I wonder, for you listening, what were you exposed to growing up? Did it shape your initial ideas about money and success?
I think it definitely did. I mean, I was always, encouraged to be responsible with money, save for a rainy day.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't really exposed to the idea of investing or entrepreneurship until much later in life.
Mm-hmm. And that leads to another point the book talks about, is the importance of our social circles, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you're always surrounded by people who view money as a source of stress, you're probably more likely to adopt that belief too.
I've noticed that. It's like our beliefs about money can be contagious.
Yeah.
For those listening, I'm curious, who are your financial role models? And what lessons have you learned from them?
That's a great question. And those lessons can be positive or negative,
Right, exactly.
Learning from others' experiences, I think, is incredibly valuable.
Totally. So this next excerpt, it challenges the typical advice of don't spend money.
Interesting. So what do they say instead?
They encourage us to spend money smartly, emphasizing that money is a tool.
I like that.
Yeah, it's about making conscious choices with our money,
So it begs the question, are you a slave to your money or does it serve your goals?
That's a good question. It reminds me of how my mom, even with a limited income, would carefully divide her money into envelopes for different expenses, including savings.
That's awesome.
She was a master of making it all work,
That's a classic example of living within your means, and I think that's really a fundamental principle for building wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of unconventional advice, the next excerpt is about the power of sharing. And this one might surprise you.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued.
It tells the story of a generous boss who believed that treating friends to meals was a better investment than risky business ventures.
Interesting. So how does the book justify that?
Well, they dig into this concept of social capital.
Okay.
Think about it. When you're genuinely generous, without expecting anything in return, it often creates really strong bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And these bonds can lead to unexpected opportunities down the line. I mean, it's not about keeping score, but strong relationships often have this natural reciprocity.
Right. It challenges the idea that wealth building is this purely individual pursuit.
Totally. And that's something I think we often overlook, the importance of relationships and community.
Absolutely. And where this gets really interesting is the book dives into this concept of compound interest. It's often called the eighth wonder of the world.
Ooh, compound interest. I've always been fascinated by that concept.
And it's not about those get-rich-quick schemes, you see, but more about that steady, long-term growth of your money.
Yeah, it's like watching a snowball rolling downhill,
Yeah.
gathering more and more snow as it goes.
Exactly. And the book uses this brilliant analogy. Imagine planting a bamboo seed.
Okay.
For years, you don't see anything, much like when your money is just patiently sitting in an investment.
Right.
But underneath the surface, the roots are growing, creating a strong foundation.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, bam, the bamboo shoots up, sometimes growing feet in a single day.
That's such a vivid visual. It makes compound interest feel less abstract and more like a natural force.
Yeah.
So if we think of our finances like a bamboo forest, what are the roots we need to nurture for that exponential growth to happen?
It's about consistent investing, discipline saving, and choosing the right financial vehicles, to plant those seeds.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, this next part tackles something I know a lot of people struggle with. How much money do we actually need to feel secure?
Right. Is there a magic number?
Well, the book doesn't give a specific amount, but it emphasizes it's not just about the number in your bank account, but also it's about your relationship with money.
Or the psychology of it.
Exactly. There's this story about a woman who meticulously tracks every single penny.
Oh, wow.
But she's constantly anxious about money.
Yeah.
It highlights that psychological aspect. True security comes from understanding and control.
Right. It's not just about a certain balance.
Exactly. So what do you think, beyond just the numbers, what do you think brings that sense of control?
For me, it's about having a clear plan, a budget that I stick to.
Yeah.
And knowing that I'm making progress towards my goals. That gives me a feeling of empowerment.
That's great.
Even if I don't have millions in the bank yet.
I love that.
Speaking of planning, the book has an interesting take on that age-old debate, rent or buy.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
What do they say?
Well, they kind of flip the script on the conventional wisdom instead of just pure financial calculations.
Right.
They encourage you to consider your lifestyle, your goals, even your emotional well-being.
Okay.
Like, does owning a home bring you stability and a sense of belonging?
Mm-hmm.
Or would renting give you more flexibility to pursue your passions?
That's a good point. I have a friend who was obsessed with buying a house.
Yeah.
Thinking it was the key to success. But she realized that renting actually gave her the freedom to travel and chase her creative dreams.
Wow, that's great.
Now she's thriving as a digital nomad, working from anywhere in the world.
I love that it's about aligning your choices with your values and priorities.
Yeah.
And sometimes renting allows you to invest in those experiences or opportunities that might yield, higher returns in the long run.
Yeah, and not just financial ones.
Exactly. The book also emphasizes this idea of health as the ultimate form of wealth.
It's like that saying, you can't enjoy wealth if you don't have your health.
Right. And there's this story in the book about the successful businessman who just neglected his health, in pursuit of financial gain, only to have a heart attack.
Wow.
And it's just a stark reminder that investing in our health, nourishing food, exercise, sleep, stress management, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity.
Absolutely. And it's not just physical health,
Right.
but mental and emotional well-being too.
Totally. I mean, stress can just wreak havoc on our finances. It
Yeah.
can lead to impulsive decisions and poor judgment.
That's so true.
This next excerpt really challenged my assumptions about retirement.
Oh, really? So what does it say about retirement?
Well, it argues that retirement shouldn't be a destination but a state of mind.
Okay.
It asks, what activities make you feel alive and engaged? And the advice is to incorporate those into your life now, regardless of your work status.
So instead of waiting for some magical day in the future,
Yeah.
start living those, retirement dreams today.
Exactly. It's about finding joy and purpose in our daily lives, not just postponing it for some distant future.
Yeah.
And I think that ties back to mindfulness,
Totally.
being present in each moment, appreciating the simple things, and cultivating contentment that's not dependent on, just external achievements.
Absolutely. This next excerpt really resonated with me. It talks about the importance of using our wealth to make a positive impact on the world.
I love that. True wealth isn't just measured in dollars and cents, right?
Right.
But also it's measured by the positive difference we make in the lives of others.
Yeah.
So what causes are you passionate about?
That's a great question. I've always been drawn to supporting educational initiatives.
It's awesome.
I believe that education is the key to empowerment. It gives people the tools and knowledge to create a better life for themselves and their communities.
I love that. And generosity has this ripple effect. When we give to others, we not only help them, but we create this sense of abundance in our own lives as well.
Totally. It's like a win-win situation.
Exactly. And this next excerpt dives into a topic that many people struggle with: debt.
Debt can feel like this heavy weight holding us back.
Yeah, it can be really overwhelming for people.
The book encourages us to view it as a relationship, not just a financial obligation.
That's an interesting way to look at it. So what do you think they mean by that?
Well, it's about understanding the root causes of our debt.
Okay.
Are we overspending? Are we using credit cards to cope with emotional issues? Or are we simply lacking financial literacy?
It's about being honest with ourselves and seeking support if needed.
Right. It's about taking ownership of our financial situation and finding healthy ways to manage debt.
And being kind to ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Avoiding shame because, financial setbacks, they're a part of life.
Totally. Speaking of setbacks, this next section is all about investing in ourselves.
Oh, I love that.
Which is something we should prioritize, even when things are tough.
It's so important. The book highlights that our greatest asset is our potential. Investing in our education, our skills, our personal growth, it can lead to higher earning potential and a more fulfilling life.
Absolutely.
So what areas have you invested in that have paid off for you, either financially or personally?
I'm a big believer in lifelong learning. I recently took a course on digital marketing.
Oh, nice.
Which not only boosted my income, but also opened up these exciting new career opportunities.
I love that. That's fantastic.
So yeah, the book emphasizes that learning shouldn't stop once we finish school.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just career skills too, right?
Right.
Investing in our health, our relationships, our emotional well-being, that's all crucial.
Totally agree.
This next excerpt explores a topic that's often shrouded in mystery: intuition.
Intuition, I'm intrigued. How does that play a role in finances?
Well, the book suggests that intuition can be a powerful guide,
Right.
especially when making financial decisions.
Interesting.
Have you ever had a gut feeling about an investment, even if you couldn't logically explain it?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes my intuition screams louder than any financial analysis.
Yeah.
But it's hard to know when to trust that inner voice.
It is, but the book encourages us to actually cultivate our intuition
Okay.
through practices like meditation and journaling.
Interesting.
It's about developing that inner compass and learning to discern between those fear-based impulses and genuine intuitive guidance.
I like that. So it's about fine-tuning that inner voice.
Exactly.
So we can make wiser decisions.
Right, and that leads to another important concept: having a clear vision for our financial future.
It's like that saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there.
Right, so the book talks about creating this detailed vision board.
Okay.
Imagine yourself living your ideal life and write down your goals in vivid detail.
It's about bringing clarity to our aspirations, making them feel real and tangible.
Exactly. And it's not just about daydreaming. The book emphasizes setting smart goals.
Smart goal.
Yeah, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Right. So instead of vague wishes, it's about having a concrete roadmap that guides our actions.
Exactly. Now let's talk about something that can feel overwhelming for a lot of people, diversification.
Oh yeah, diversification. I'm still figuring this out myself.
Well, it's a key strategy for managing risk. Spreading our investments across different asset classes like stocks, bonds, real estate, even precious metals.
Right. It's like that old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. But it can be hard to know where to start, especially if you're new to investing.
Yeah, totally.
So the book recommends seeking professional advice from a financial advisor.
Oh, well.
They can help you create a diversified portfolio that aligns with your risk tolerance and financial goals.
That's a great tip, especially for those who are just starting out.
Right. Speaking of starting out, the book also emphasizes the importance of patience when it comes to building wealth.
Yeah, we live in such an instant gratification culture.
It's true.
It's easy to forget that real wealth often takes time to build.
Exactly. It reminds us that financial success rarely happens overnight.
Right.
Just like cultivating a bamboo forest takes time, building wealth requires consistent effort, discipline, and that long-term vision.
Instead of chasing those get-rich-quick schemes, it's about making sound investments and allowing our money to grow organically over time.
Exactly. I think this ties back to that burning desire we talked about earlier.
Totally. That burning desire can help us stay committed to our financial goals, even when the journey is long and challenging.
Absolutely. Now, the next excerpt dives into something that I think a lot of people struggle with, how to manage our emotions when it comes to money.
Yeah, our emotions can really sabotage our financial decisions.
It's true. It's about recognizing that money is often intertwined with our emotions.
Yeah, whether it's fear, anxiety, excitement, or guilt.
Exactly. So we might get anxious about not having enough, or get really excited about a potential investment opportunity.
Or feel guilty about spending money on something we don't need.
Right. So the book encourages us to become aware of those emotions,
Right.
observe how they influence our financial decisions, and find healthy ways to manage them.
It's like developing emotional intelligence around money.
Exactly. So the book suggests practicing mindfulness, seeking therapy if needed, and surrounding ourselves with supportive people who can help us navigate those emotional challenges.
That makes a lot of sense, creating a supportive environment for our financial well-being.
Right. And this leads to another important concept, cultivating a positive money mindset.
Oh, I love that. It's about shifting our perspective from viewing money as a source of stress or scarcity to seeing it as a tool that can be used to create good in the world.
Exactly. And support our dreams and aspirations.
It's about believing in our ability to create wealth and attract financial abundance into our lives.
Absolutely. And the book suggests using affirmations, practicing gratitude, and focusing on our financial wins to help cultivate that more positive and abundant mindset.
Those are great tips. I'm definitely going to try those.
This next excerpt dives into something I've always found fascinating, the idea of using money as a force for good.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about accumulating wealth for ourselves, but about making a positive impact on the world.
Exactly. True wealth extends beyond our personal financial gain, right? It includes our contributions to the world and the positive impact we make on the lives of others.
So what are some ways we can use our money to make a difference?
Well, for me, it's about supporting causes that align with my values, like investing in sustainable businesses, donating to organizations that are working to alleviate poverty, things like that.
That's awesome.
The book encourages us to be conscious consumers,
Yeah,
and to align our spending and investing with our values.
I love that. It's like creating a ripple effect of positive change.
Right, using our financial resources to make the world a better place.
Absolutely. And speaking of making the world a better place, the book also talks about the importance of leaving a legacy.
It's about thinking beyond our own lifetimes,
Yeah.
and considering how we can use our wealth to create a lasting impact on the world.
That sounds really profound. What does that look like in a financial context?
Well, it might involve setting up a charitable foundation, supporting educational initiatives, or investing in projects that promote environmental sustainability.
It's like planting seeds that will continue to grow and bear fruit long after we're gone.
Exactly. It's about using our financial resources to create a positive ripple effect that extends beyond our own lives.
Now, the book doesn't shy away from addressing some of the challenges that can arise on our financial journey.
Right. It acknowledges that it's not always smooth sailing.
One that really stood out to me was the idea of dealing with financial setbacks.
Yeah, those are inevitable, We're all likely to experience them at some point.
They can feel so discouraging.
They can, but the book encourages us to develop resilience, that ability to bounce back from those challenges.
It's like weathering a financial storm.
Yeah.
It might feel scary and overwhelming at times, But the book reminds us that storms eventually pass, and that we have the inner strength to overcome those challenges.
I love that analogy. And, it's about reframing those setbacks as learning opportunities,
Right.
adjusting our financial plan as needed, and seeking support from others when necessary.
And speaking of support, the book also talks about the importance of having a financial support system.
It's crucial to have people in our corner.
Right. The book encourages us to surround ourselves with people who support our financial goals and aspirations.
Yeah, people who inspire us, motivate us, and hold us accountable.
It's about building a network of like-minded individuals.
Exactly. So the book suggests finding mentors, joining mastermind groups, and seeking out communities that foster financial growth and well-being.
I like that. It's about creating a tribe of supportive individuals who can help us navigate the financial landscape.
And achieve our financial dreams.
Absolutely. Speaking of achieving our dreams, the next excerpt talks about the importance of persistence when it comes to building wealth.
Persistence is key. It's that ability to stay committed to our financial goals.
Yeah, even when faced with obstacles or setbacks.
It's like running a marathon. It's a long and challenging journey.
That requires determination, endurance, and a refusal to give up.
Exactly. The book reminds us that the path to financial freedom is rarely a straight line, and we're likely to encounter those challenges and setbacks along the way.
So it's about developing that resilience, staying focused on our goals,
Yeah,
and continuing to take action even when we don't feel like it.
absolutely. It's about having that grit and determination to keep going, even when the going gets tough.
Now, this next excerpt takes us into a realm that's not often discussed in financial books, the connection between money and spirituality.
Oh, that's interesting.
What do you think about that connection?
Well, the book explores the idea that our relationship with money can actually be a reflection of our deeper spiritual beliefs and values.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that money is a form of energy and that we can use it to create a life that's aligned with our higher purpose.
It's like viewing money as a tool for spiritual growth
Yeah.
and using it to manifest our dreams and make a positive impact on the world.
Exactly. So what are your thoughts on that concept?
I think it's really powerful. It challenges the traditional view of money as simply a material resource.
Yeah.
The book suggests that by aligning our financial goals with our spiritual values,
Yeah.
we can create a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
Absolutely. And recognizing that money can be a force for good in the world.
Totally. And the book also encourages us to develop self-awareness when it comes to our finances.
Oh, self-awareness is so important, especially in this area.
Yeah, it's about understanding our strengths, weaknesses, values, beliefs,
Yeah.
and patterns of behavior, especially when it comes to money.
Right, like taking a financial inventory of ourselves.
Identifying our spending habits, our emotional triggers, and our limiting beliefs about money.
Exactly. So the book suggests journaling, practicing mindfulness, and even seeking feedback from trusted friends and family members to help us gain greater self-awareness.
Those are great suggestions. It's about getting to know ourselves better financially speaking, so we can make choices that are aligned with our authentic selves.
Absolutely. And this next excerpt explores a concept that's often talked about in personal development circles, the law of attraction.
Okay, the law of attraction, how does that apply to finances?
Well, the law of attraction suggests that like attracts like, right? And that we can manifest our desires by focusing our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs on those things.
So it's about shifting our mindset from scarcity to abundance,
Exactly.
believing that we're worthy of wealth
Yeah.
and that we have the power to attract it into our lives.
The book encourages us to visualize our financial goals, use affirmations to reinforce those positive beliefs about money, and surround ourselves with people who support our dreams.
It's about creating an energetic alignment with our financial desires
Yes.
and allowing the universe to deliver those things into our experience.
I love that. And the book also reminds us that financial freedom is not a one-size-fits-all concept.
Right. It's about defining it on our own terms.
Exactly. It's about having the resources and flexibility to live life on our own terms.
Yeah. Pursue our passions, make choices that align with our values.
It's about creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling, where we're not limited by those financial constraints.
Absolutely.
So the book suggests creating multiple streams of income, investing in assets that generate passive income, and reducing our expenses to create that financial cushion that gives us more freedom and flexibility.
This next excerpt talks about finding work that we love.
Oh, that's so important.
Yeah, aligning our work with our passions
Yeah.
can make a huge difference in our overall happiness and well-being.
It's about finding work that feels meaningful and fulfilling, that we're excited to wake up for each morning.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where our skills and talents and passions intersect with the needs of the world.
The book encourages us to explore our passions, identify our skills and talents, and seek out opportunities that align with our values and interests.
It's about finding work that feels less like a job and more like a calling.
I love that.
Work that brings us joy and satisfaction while also providing financial security.
That's the dream.
This next excerpt encourages us to invest in ourselves, which is something we should prioritize.
It's so crucial, not view it as a luxury.
Exactly. Investing in our education, our skills, our health, our personal growth, it's essential for enhancing our earning potential.
And creating a more fulfilling life.
Absolutely. The book suggests taking courses, attending workshops, reading books, hiring coaches, seeking out experiences that expand our knowledge and skills.
It's about recognizing that our greatest asset is our own potential. And investing in ourselves can pay off in countless ways.
And speaking of investing, the book also talks about the importance of investing our money.
Yes, putting our money to work for us, right?
Yeah, instead of letting it sit idle in a bank account.
Exactly. So the book explores different investment options.
Like what?
Like stocks, bonds, real estate, precious metals.
Okay.
And it encourages us to educate ourselves about the risks and potential rewards associated with each investment.
It's about taking a proactive approach to building wealth, creating a financial future that supports our dreams and aspirations.
I love that. And this next section talks about consistency, which I think is just a key ingredient for success in any area of life.
Yeah, especially finances.
It's true. Consistency is that ability to stick to our financial plan, even when it's challenging or we don't feel like it.
It's about developing those financial muscles.
Through discipline and perseverance.
The book suggests automating our savings, setting reminders, and finding accountability partners to help us stay consistent.
Those are great practical tips. I love that.
This next excerpt is all about cultivating financial security.
Ooh, that sense of stability and confidence.
Yeah, knowing that we have enough resources to meet our needs and weather those financial storms.
Exactly. It's about creating that financial foundation that provides peace of mind and freedom from worry.
So, how do we cultivate that sense of financial security? What does the book suggest?
Well, it suggests building an emergency fund, diversifying our income streams, and creating a financial plan that aligns with our values and goals.
That makes sense. It's about creating that financial buffer that gives us the freedom to make choices that line with our values and pursue our passions without that, financial fear holding us back.
Exactly. And speaking of fear, the book also talks about the importance of overcoming our financial fears.
Yeah, those fears can be so paralyzing.
It's true, whether it's the fear of scarcity, the fear of failure, or even the fear of success.
Those fears can really hold us back from achieving our financial goals.
Absolutely. So the book encourages us to identify and address those fears head on.
But how do we do that? What are some strategies for overcoming those financial gremlins?
Well, the book suggests educating ourselves about personal finance, seeking guidance from financial experts, and taking small steps to build our confidence.
Right.
It's about recognizing that fear is often based on a lack of knowledge or understanding, and that by educating ourselves and taking informed action, we can overcome those fears and create a more secure financial future.
This next section talks about something that many people dread: planning for retirement.
Yeah, retirement planning is essential, even if it feels far off in the future.
It's about recognizing that time is our greatest asset when it comes to saving and investing for retirement.
Exactly. So the book suggests creating a retirement plan, setting savings goals, and exploring those different retirement investment options like 401ks, IRAs, and annuities.
Okay, so it's about taking those proactive steps to ensure a comfortable retirement.
Exactly. This next excerpt explores a concept that's gaining a lot of attention these days: mindfulness.
Oh, mindfulness. I've been hearing a lot about that lately.
Yeah, it's about being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Including our financial decisions.
Exactly. So the book encourages us to practice mindfulness, especially when it comes to our finances.
So it's about bringing a sense of awareness and intention to our spending habits, our investments, our overall relationship with money.
It's about moving from that state of autopilot to a state of conscious awareness.
Which can be really transformative.
Absolutely. And the book offers some practical tips for cultivating mindfulness, like practicing meditation, deep breathing exercises, and mindful spending techniques.
Those are great tips. I'm going to try those.
This next section encourages us to trust our intuition when it comes to making financial decisions.
I love that, trusting our gut feeling.
Intuition can be a powerful guide, It's that inner knowing that can guide us toward the best choices for our financial well-being.
The book suggests quieting our minds, listening to our gut feelings, and paying attention to synchronicities and signs that might be guiding us toward the right path.
It's about learning to trust our inner wisdom and allowing it to inform our financial decisions.
Okay, so it's about developing that financial intuition.
Exactly.
This next excerpt is all about the power of giving back.
Oh, generosity. It's a key component of Rich Mindfulness.
It's about recognizing that true wealth extends beyond our personal financial assets and includes our contributions to the world.
Absolutely. And the book encourages us to view giving back as an investment in our own happiness and in the well-being of others.
So it's about finding causes we're passionate about and contributing our time, talents, or financial resources.
Exactly, and creating a ripple effect of positive change.
Using our financial resources to make the world a better place.
I love that. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's often overlooked, the importance of having a positive money mindset.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do we cultivate that positive money mindset?
Well, it's about shifting our perspective from viewing money as a source of stress or scarcity to viewing it as a tool that can be used to create good in the world and support our dreams and aspirations.
It's about believing in our ability to create wealth and attract financial abundance into our lives.
The book suggests using affirmations, practicing gratitude, and surrounding ourselves with positive and inspiring people to help reinforce that positive money mindset.
I think this ties back to that rich mindfulness concept. It's not just about the practical strategies, but also about cultivating a healthy and positive relationship with money.
It's about recognizing that our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions play a powerful role in our financial well-being.
Absolutely. So it's an inside-out approach.
Exactly. And this next excerpt is about financial self-care.
Oh, financial self-care. I love that term. What does that involve?
Well, it's about taking breaks from managing our finances, celebrating our wins and seeking support when needed.
It's like giving ourselves permission to relax and recharge those financial batteries.
Exactly. So the book suggests treating ourselves to those occasional indulgences, practicing gratitude for our financial blessings, and avoiding comparisons with others.
That's so important. It's easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others.
Especially in the age of social media.
Right. And it can really undermine our financial confidence.
So true. This next excerpt is about boundaries, which are essential in all areas of life.
Absolutely, especially finances.
Right. Setting boundaries is crucial for protecting our financial well-being.
It's about being clear about our financial goals and values, setting limits on our spending. Learning to say no to requests that don't align with our financial priorities.
Exactly. So the book suggests creating a budget, setting those spending limits, and learning to say no, even to those requests that don't align with our financial goals or values.
That can be tough, but it's so important.
It is. And now here's another concept from the book that I think is really important.
Okay, what is it?
It encourages us to embrace the journey of financial growth, not just the destination.
Oh, I love that.
The book argues that the journey of building wealth and achieving financial freedom is just as important as the destination itself.
It's about enjoying the process, celebrating our progress, and learning and growing along the way.
Exactly. It's about embracing those challenges and triumphs, the setbacks and breakthroughs, and recognizing that the journey itself is where the real growth and transformation happen.
And speaking of growth, the book also talks about the importance of continuous learning when it comes to our finances.
Lifelong learning is essential.
The book suggests reading books, attending workshops, listening to podcasts. Following financial experts to stay up to date on the latest trends and strategies.
It's about staying curious, and constantly seeking new knowledge and insights.
Now, here's a concept that's gaining a lot of attention these days: the importance of celebrating our financial wins.
Oh, I love that.
No matter how big or small.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing and acknowledging our progress. Even those small victories that might seem insignificant.
Celebrating our wins helps us stay motivated, boosts our confidence,
Yeah.
and reinforces those positive financial habits.
This next section emphasizes the importance of taking action towards our financial goals.
Action is essential. It's about turning our financial knowledge into tangible results.
Exactly, taking consistent action toward our goals.
So what are some practical tips for taking action?
Well, the book suggests breaking down our goals into smaller, more manageable steps, creating a plan of action, and setting deadlines to help us stay on track.
Those are great tips. It's about taking those consistent steps, even if they're small.
Absolutely. And now let's explore a topic that can be a bit sensitive: money wounds.
Oh, money wounds, those deep-seated emotional patterns and beliefs that we often develop around money.
Exactly. And the book encourages us to become aware of those money wounds, understand how they impact our financial decisions,
Yeah.
and seek healing and support to release those limiting patterns.
So it's about recognizing that our relationship with money is often a reflection of our deeper emotional patterns and beliefs.
And that healing those wounds can lead to greater financial well-being.
The book suggests journaling, working with a therapist, or joining support groups to help us process those emotions.
Yes, and create a healthier relationship with money.
This next excerpt talks about financial independence, which is something I think many of us aspire to.
It's about having the resources and flexibility to live life on our own terms, you know?
Yeah, creating a life where we're not limited by financial constraints and we can pursue our passions, make choices that align with our values.
The book suggests creating multiple streams of income, investing in assets that generate passive income, and reducing our expenses to create that financial cushion, to give us more freedom and flexibility.
Right. It's about creating that sense of security and empowerment in our financial lives.
Exactly. And speaking of fear, the book also talks about the importance of overcoming our financial fears.
Oh, yeah. Those fears can be so sneaky and insidious. Like, they can really sabotage our best intentions.
It's true, whether it's the fear of scarcity or the fear of failure or even the fear of success.
Wow. The fear of success. That's an interesting one.
Right. It's like we're afraid of what might happen if we actually achieve our financial goals.
Yeah. Like, we might not know how to handle it, or we might lose ourselves in the process.
Exactly. So the book encourages us to really shine a light on those fears,
Okay.
bring them out into the open so we can examine them and challenge them.
It's like once we name those fears, they lose a bit of their power.
Absolutely. And the book also suggests educating ourselves about personal finance as a way to combat those fears.
That makes sense. Knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. The more we understand about personal finance, budgeting, investing, managing debt, the less intimidating it becomes.
Yeah, and when we feel more confident in our financial knowledge, those fears tend to dissipate.
Right. It's about empowering ourselves through education and taking control of our financial lives.
This next excerpt talks about something that many people find daunting: planning for retirement.
Oh yeah, retirement planning, it can feel like this big, overwhelming task, especially when we're younger.
Right, like it's so far off in the future, why worry about it now?
But the book encourages us to view retirement planning not as a chore, but as an act of self-love.
Oh, I love that.
It's a way to create a future where we have the freedom to pursue our passions and live life on our own terms.
It's like giving a gift to our future selves, the gift of financial security and the freedom to enjoy our golden years.
Exactly. And it's never too early to start planning.
So where do we begin?
The book suggests creating a retirement plan, setting savings goals, and exploring different retirement investment options like 401ks, IRAs, and annuities.
It's about taking those proactive steps to ensure a comfortable and fulfilling retirement.
Absolutely. And this next excerpt is all about mindfulness, which is a concept that's becoming increasingly popular these days.
Mindfulness, yeah, I've been hearing a lot about it lately, but how does it apply to our finances?
Well, it's about bringing that awareness and intention to all aspects of our lives, including our financial decisions.
So it's not just about meditating on a cushion, but about being present in our financial lives.
Exactly. The book emphasizes the importance of being present and aware of our spending habits, our investment choices, and our overall relationship with money.
It's about slowing down, tuning in, and making conscious choices that align with our values and goals.
It's about moving from that state of autopilot to a state of conscious awareness.
Which can be really transformative, like we're finally in the driver's seat of our financial lives.
Absolutely. And the book offers some practical tips for cultivating mindfulness, like practicing meditation, deep breathing exercises, and mindful spending techniques.
Mindful spending techniques, that sounds interesting.
It's about creating a pause between stimulus and response, giving ourselves the space to make more thoughtful and intentional financial decisions.
I like that. It's about breaking those impulsive spending habits.
Exactly. This next section encourages us to tap into our intuition when it comes to money matters.
Intuition, that inner voice that sometimes whispers and sometimes screams.
Right. It's a powerful tool, especially when it comes to finances.
But how do we know when to trust our intuition? Especially when it comes to something as important as money.
Well, the book suggests quieting our minds, listening to those gut feelings, and paying attention to synchronicities and signs that might be guiding us towards the right path.
It's about discerning between fear-based impulses and those genuine intuitive nudges.
Exactly. And the more we practice, the better we become at recognizing and trusting our intuition.
This next excerpt is all about the power of giving back, which ties in beautifully with the concept of rich mindfulness.
It's about recognizing that true wealth extends beyond our personal financial gain and includes the positive impact we have on the world.
So it's not just about how much money we accumulate, but how we use that money to make a difference.
The book encourages us to view giving back not as a duty or an obligation, but as a privilege.
Yeah, like an opportunity to express our gratitude and share our abundance with others.
Exactly, and it's about finding causes that we're passionate about and contributing our time, talents, or financial resources to support those causes.
It's about creating that ripple effect of positive change, using our financial resources to make the world a better place.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into rich mindfulness, I'm curious, what are your biggest takeaways from these excerpts?
Well, what really resonated with me was the emphasis on mindset. It's not just about the practical strategies for building wealth, but also about cultivating the right beliefs, attitudes, and emotional patterns.
It's about approaching wealth creation with awareness, intention, and a sense of purpose.
I love that. It's about aligning our inner world with our outer world, creating a harmonious balance between our financial goals and our overall well-being.
Exactly. And it's a journey, not a destination. The book reminds us that wealth creation is an ongoing process of learning, growing, and adapting.
So, for you listening, we encourage you to explore the concept of rich mindfulness further and see how it can enhance your own financial journey. Remember, it's not just about accumulating wealth, but about cultivating a life of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights on this book. Share your takeaways in the comments below, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of personal finance and beyond.
Thanks for joining us on this fascinating exploration.